What's going on, everyone? We're going to do a little technical analysis on Toshi. So I'm still holding Toshi, have been averaging down. Yesterday we had a nice bounce, a nice recovery bounce after, a lot of people, a lot of positions, a lot of things were just absolutely getting destroyed, getting liquidated. We're still not out of the woods yet. Here's the thing: when it comes to crypto, everyone's used to making super fast gains where you put $1,000 in, you're taking out 5,000. You put $1,000 in, you're taking out 500. You put $10,000 in, you're taking out 5,000, like extremely quickly. The cycle hasn't started yet, guys. They're still working themselves into positions, and I'm talking across the board on some of the blue chip crypto names, Ethereum, Bitcoin, Solana, stuff like that. We've got to stay patient. I would not allow yourself to kind of get shaken out of your position here. We had a pretty nasty pullback, right? I mean, coming from the Coinbase listing to just this slow drip, right? But I did a few videos kind of covering these areas. We had great buying opportunities down here into these fives. Like I even mentioned it on a couple of the Toshi video updates that I mentioned or that I put out previously. Now, I was adding into this position all the way between 8, 7, and 6. Did not snag any in the fives. I would have loved to. It was just, quite frankly, I was asleep or something. But I didn't snag it when we got down into those fives. And then immediately, to kind of start that day, we had just a monster rally. So we're still holding my buy zone. This buy zone is the purple box that you're looking at on my chart. It's a Fibonacci retracement going to a 4-hour time frame from the swing high all the way down to our floor. Our floor is sitting down here at threes. We had a perfect area to kind of rebuy into this between 5 and 7, which was the Coinbase listing kind of breakout, the rumor, the breakout, the news. That area was an ultimate buy zone. So what's going on? We had that nice, kind of finally a little bit of a break over a previous swing high and getting back outside that range, followed by a wick where we are selling off a little bit. But this is pretty healthy structure. This is healthy structure in a sense where we did break out through the 10s and hit 12, and now we've kind of pulled back into 8, right? So it's about a 50% retracement on the entire move. Okay. That's bullish. That's still something that you want to be looking into buying this dip, right? Because if you notice, there's a darker or, a deeper shaded purple line here. On my Fibonacci retracements, I run a 707, which is almost in between that golden pocket range. And again, if you're not familiar with technical analysis, that golden pocket range, I like using the 707 because it gives me a good midline as to where in the golden pocket range into the buy zone range could be a good opportunity where this might reverse and it might bounce. Now again, if I do something like where I draw like this downwards flag pattern, if Toshi starts to break out off this support here at around 8.5, if we start to break out, you're going to see a quick test of 10s. And if we can pull back once more into the 9s and hold, then you can start to see something like this, right? If this area kind of holds, you can see a quick breakout here, testing this previous swing high, slight pullback. You don't want to lose the low. You want to pull back to the mid area of that, breakout. And then if this holds, then this next time we break out, we're going to be looking towards 14s. Okay. And when we look towards 14s, it's going to be a good move because it's going to take out this previous swing high here from the last bounce that we just seen yesterday. And then once we get up into these 14s, I expect this a lot of choppiness, consolidation. But when we come back this time, I want to be able to start holding higher prices. So instead of coming all the way back down to 8s where we're at currently now, I want to come back into 10s. I want to come back into 9s, and I want to hold that, kind of showing that we are actually climbing, because then your next pop is going to come into these 16s, right? And we just kind of repeat this same pattern until we build up enough momentum in the overall markets. Remember, we need Ethereum to start popping. We need Bitcoin to start popping. Once they start popping, this slow grind here that we're doing could then start seeing exponential growth where it just starts to go really quickly and start to test those all-time highs. That's that situation. Now, what happens if we don't bounce from this midline? And let's say we kind of bounce a little bit and then it kind of pulls back and then it tries once more and then loses. Then you're looking at a situation where we're going to come all the way back down to the bottom of this demand zone, which is back down into 7s. I'd like to see how we react in 7s. If we do get down into 7s again, I will add once more. Okay, I'm going to add once more. I've got specific areas where I'm looking to add. And again, every dip that we're getting, I am adding at the significant levels. I'm not just adding when a red candle shows up. I want it to be at specific areas of demand, specific areas of support that I have on my chart. But when we get to those demand zones and I add in more and I add in more, it's going to be an easy double up or a triple up, right? Just even getting back to some of this previous price action. I mean, I think if we just make it back into 16s, I'm already at a double up or 2.5x. I think if we get into 20s, it'll be closer to a 3 to 4x from where we're at now. And you know, if we do test the all-time highs, I'm looking at a 4 to 5x on what my overall average position size is, and based on the number of tokens that I'm holding, it's going to be a pretty good trade, right? So obviously I am going to hold that runner, that bag, to see, you know, just kind of what it does. You know, if it just doesn't want to just absolutely run through the roof in 2025, I'll leave a little bit of a running bag there. But all in all, I have specific areas where I do want to take profit. I do want to take profits closer to $1 billion market cap and retesting those highs. I'll take a little bit of profits off of there, at least take my initial investment off, and then kind of let everything else run. And then from there, you know, we'll just take it where we can take it. So the levels I want to kind of watch going into the overnight is definitely going to be, do we hold 8s, right? I want to see if we can hold 8s. I want to see if we can start breaking up over this trend line that I drew on the screen. Again, you know, kind of start doing your technical analysis, guys. I know a lot of crypto stuff is definitely fundamental and narrative based, but it's good to know your levels, because especially when you're dollar cost averaging and you're looking at potentially where things can bounce and where they can turn around at, you want to have some good ideas. So this play, I'm looking for this to hold, right? I want to see us get in here, and it might pull back once more tonight, but come tomorrow, come Thursday, I really want to see this breakout. And when I see this breakout this next time, I want to see it start pushing towards 11s and 12s very strong. And I want to get back over this whole buy zone, this purple box. I want to get over that, because I want this pullback next time, like what we're doing currently today. I want that pullback to be into the top of this zone, okay? Because that's going to create a stronger move, even if it comes back down a little bit more closer to 10s. But if we can get that to hold, then this next pop is going to take us into those 13s. And if you were dollar cost averaging anywhere in here or anywhere in here, even this is a double up on your money, right? If you got in anywhere between 7, 8, or 9, and you're talking about getting into 13s and 14s, it's almost a double on your money. So if you put $1,000 in, you're probably looking at $600, $700 worth of gains. And again, for a trade, think about it. That's a pretty good trade. I know it's not $1 million. I know it's not $100,000. Again, it's all dependent on how much you put in, right? Because you could equally have someone who put in $25,000 here, and on this last bounce made close to double their money, and they made about 20, 15, you know, $1,000, right? So it's all relative to how much money you're actually putting in these plays. Obviously, the more money you put into the plays, the more money you're going to make on the bounces. Again, you know, if you're someone who just put in $100, again, that's completely fine. You just need to hold it for a little bit longer and get a little bit of a bigger move, right? Your double up is only going to be $200 versus someone else's double up who's in for $20, $30, $40,000 as a $20, $30, $40,000 bag. So again, as much as you can afford to lose, as much as you can afford to invest, as much as you believe, I would start to put in. I wouldn't be hesitant and try to nickel and dime this thing. Again, I think Toshi's going to be a strong project for 2025 and beyond. It's got a lot of utility use as work. It's not just your average run-of-the-mill pump fun meme coins, right? It's a little bit stronger. Think of names like Shiba Inu. Think of names like Dogecoin. Think of things like Pepe. You know, this is a very strong name, and it's going to be able to compete with a lot of the top coins and tokens out there, especially being the face of Base. When people do onboard onto Coinbase, it's one of the first tokens. It's one of the first things they're going to see. It's their entry level, you know, hey, get introduced to crypto, buy our cute little blue cat, you know, and tell everyone, tell all your friends. So with that being said, I'm still holding, I'm still looking at these levels. It still looks pretty bullish to me. Again, I know at periods of time when we are pulling back, it seems slow and hesitant. If you're not going to dollar cost average down, just don't really look at the portfolio. Again, the way I've got it going on right now, you know, we at least before we start making any money, if you've dollar cost average in any of these places, we at least need about 2, 3, 4 more days. Okay, let's give it 2 or 3, 4 more days and kind of see if we've broken out. If we're sitting here next week and we're testing these lows below 5s, we'll have a different conversation and see what potentially we can do to kind of minimize any more future damage, or how we can get a better price to where when it does pop back into this range, we can actually make some money on that and kind of get our initial investment out and just kind of leave profits in there. But other than that, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you want more of these videos. Follow me on Twitter, guys. I'm starting to get a lot more active on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter, and make sure you guys subscribe to this channel if you guys want to keep these updates going. I'll see all of you guys on the next one.